days. I want a clean, fair fight. Good vibration.
All right. Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by saying Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shuwab Moan back at you with another update. All right. And going into the title, all right, more earthquakes, right? More earthquake birth pains. This place is about to explode, all right? And, you know, we keep telling you that the Lord looks at this place metaphorically as a woman that's with child in the 9th month, all right? And the way things are looking, man, it's like we're in the 9th month, you see? And those contractions, all right, are constantly growing, you know, constantly, you know, coming, coming faster and faster every time. All right. Now you have Peru, okay, that's getting smacked with earthquakes, which there was a an earthquake in Peru yesterday. All right, which I'm gonna bring a video on it. All right, and it's just showing another tribe, all right, which that's the tribe of Asher. Asher been catching it. All right, but you know, all these different types of countries of the northern tribe are getting smacked. All right, that goes into the Peruvians, all right, which again go back to the tribe of Asher. They're part of the same tribe of Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, okay, and they've been getting smacked. All those different countries that I just named, all right, they've been getting smacked with, you know, the Lord's judgment, the Lord's wrath, okay. So, Shalom, y'all, Bashim, Shabrakata. All right, let's grab this little video. It says massive earthquake, 7.2 magnitude hits Peru, right, on August 20th, which today is the 21st. All right, it says 2026 at 1 p.m. local time. Okay, so let's look at this real quick. Hold on. Let me open this up real quick. Yeah.
That is the 11th second point magnitude or over earthquake we have had 2026. I think 4 or 5 of them come in the last month. Volcanic eruption.
Yeah, you heard what he just said? He said 5 of them have come in the last month, 7.0 or better. You see? See, that's how we know, as the scriptures say, measure the time diligently within itself. You know, seeing all these earthquakes in diverse places, all right, it shows that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is visited, man. Right? He said that's the 11th one. All right, that's the 11th one of the year. The 5th one of this month. So in a whole year, we're in the 8th month, right? There's been 11 of them. Okay, and that's probably been one a month if you think about it, right? And in the last month, okay, there's been straight 5 of them. So let's just say there was one. We're in the 8th month, so we're missing 2 months, all right, for it to be one per month. And in this last month alone, it's been 5 of them. That's crazy right there, man. 7.0 or better on the Richter scale for these earthquakes. You see? Again, that just goes to show that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is angry, man. Like, it's crazy too, because when I was younger, I used to look at these things like that, man. Like when it would rain, I used to be like, "Oh, is that God crying?" You know, or when it would thunder so hard, you know, that's the angels playing bowling. You know what I'm saying? These are things that I used to say when I was young. So where earthquakes, you know, would come, I will always say that's the Lord angry, and that's what it really is. This is the Lord angry, man. You know, we know it's the birth pangs of this place. You know, the earth itself is mourning, all right, but it's the anger of the Lord, all right, that opens up the ground, man, and swallows these people, man. You know how many people die with earthquakes? You see, people that don't get reported, all right. And when you look at the countries that are getting smacked with those earthquakes, it's our people, man, for worshiping other gods. You know, out there bound down to Esau, bound down to their gods. Okay, laughing at everything that, you know, all the wickedness that's happening around the earth, and by them laughing at it, they're literally giving themselves up onto it. You see? So real quick, I got another video. Um, this is Numbers, in the Numbers, the 16th chapter speaks about how the ground opens up. Right? Let me grab that real quick. Number 16. All right. It says Korah's rebellion. It says now Korah, the son of matter of fact, let me just get straight to the point. All right. Uh Hold on real quick. Um, 1 second, Salakia. Man, this is a long chapter. Yeah, this is a long chapter. Hold on. Damn, did I just pass it? I think I did. It's the 32nd chapter. I mean the 32nd verse. I said voice. I'm tripping. Right. So this is 16, number 16 and 31. And it says, and it came to pass as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them. Right. Matter of fact, let's take it from 25. And Moses rose up and went unto the Thon and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him, and he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest you be consumed in all their sins. You see? And hey, the Lord is pretty much telling us to depart from all these wicked people across the, the globe that are our people. All right. So we don't be partakers of their plagues. We don't be partakers of their, their judgments. Because that's what happens, man. When you are around these wicked ass people, man, it's only a matter of time before you get caught up with their wickedness. Okay. It says, so they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, all right, the Thon and Abiram on every side, and the Thon and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives and their sons and their little children. And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that the Lord Yahweh has sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of mine own mind. Yeah. And you're going to know that we were sent to come out here and do the works of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, by telling you that these things will happen, and them happening, right in front of their faces. All right. It says, if these men die the common death of all men, and if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord Yahweh has not sent me. But if the Lord Yahweh make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up with all their appertain, right? With all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? Let's grab it up again for the NLT 29. It says, if these men die a natural death, or if nothing unusual happens, then the Lord Yahweh has not sent me. But if the Lord Yahweh does something entirely new, and the ground opens its mouth and swallows them and all their belongings, and they go down alive into the grave, then you will know that these men have shown contempt for the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It says, he had hardly finished speaking the words when the ground suddenly split open beneath them. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed the men, along with their households and all their followers who were standing with them, and everything they owned. So they went down alive into the grave, along with all the belongings. The earth closed over them, and they all vanished from among the people of Israel. All the people around them fled when they heard their screams. The earth will swallow us too, they cried. Then fire blazed forth from the Lord Yahweh and burned up the 250 men who were offering incense. You see, this is why they were getting smacked, because they were doing wickedness, worshiping on other gods. They were offering onto incense. You see? And that goes to show you, when earthquakes happen, right? That's the Lord's rage. That's the Lord's wrath coming upon our people for doing what? For worshiping a whole bunch of nonsense that they don't need to be worshiping. When you go to the Northern Kingdom, man, scriptures talk about how Ephraim is joined onto idols, man. You see? And when you go to these places like Peru, because this is where this earthquake was, Peru, you go to Brazil, right? You go to Colombia, Venezuela, you go to all South America, man. You go to all the Caribbean islands, you go to all Central America. All of our people that are of Northern Kingdom, they just be worshiping some bugged out shit, bugged out gods. And that's why the Lord brings these earthquakes upon them, you see. It's also because the earth is being destroyed by Esau, by drilling and taking out oil and all that, right? Shifting plates and all that. But still, it's mostly because the wrath of the Lord is upon our people. And the Lord, see, the Lord said he's going to start at the house of Israel first when it comes to the judgment, you see. And that's what you see. You see all of the tribes getting smacked left to right, whether it be through earthquakes, whether it be through hurricanes and tsunamis and fucking tropical storms, man. Regardless, the Lord is coming after our tribes first. You see, and then he's going to hit these other nations. But we're going to be dealt with first because we're the Lord's chosen people. You see? So back in the days, the Lord was bringing earthquakes upon people. How much more in these last days, man? Right? Let me grab this other video I have from Instagram, right? It says, do not take this lightly.
I need you all to look at this and look at it closely because I'm going to tell you why this completely aligns with the return of Jesus. I'll make it quick. Don't worry.
I mean, listen to what he's saying. The message is good, but the word Jesus, but the name Jesus, the name Jesus is not the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I mean, it's not the name of Yahweh Shai. All right. What they ignorantly call Jesus, the name is Yahweh Shai, and that's in the Paleo Hebrew. That is the direct name and the only name of our of the Lord's Son. Okay, our people need to get off of that Jesus shit. I mean, this is an Edomite, so it don't matter. All right, but you know, our people believe in Jesus heavy. Okay, but this goes to show you that this aligns with the word of Yahweh Shai. This aligns with the scriptures, and everything that's written is faithful and true. All right.
Look at this and look at it closely because I'm going to tell you why this completely aligns with the return of Jesus. I'll make it quick. Don't worry. So these are all the major earthquakes that have happened in 2026 so far. But there's something you need to see here that is very evident. You see? You notice something? They're all everywhere. No, they're not just confined in one area. Literally all around the globe. You see this verse? Look at the word there. Various.
And the scriptures that he brought out is Matthew the 24th verse.
A lot of various.
The Matthew 24:7, nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. Okay, yeah, scriptures say there's gonna be earthquakes in diverse places, man, all over the globe, places that you ain't never hear of getting smacked with earthquakes. Matter of fact, there'll be earthquakes happening here in Jersey. Earthquakes don't be hitting Jersey. Jersey's not a place for earthquakes. But lately you've been hearing, you know, it ain't nothing big, but you'll get like little 3.4, 4.0 little tremors, you know, according to, you know, the earthquake Richter scale out here. This is a diverse place. And then when you look at these earthquakes that he's showing you, all right, they're all in diverse places. Malaysia, 7.1, February 22nd, April 1st, Indonesia, 7.4. All right, and Indonesia just got hit with two of them back to back last week. Okay, April 20th, Japan 7.4, Philippines June 7th 7.8, Mexico July 17 7.3, Venezuela, all right, June I can't see the, I think it's the 24th, Venezuela 7.2, all right, 7.6 also in Venezuela on that same day. So that means they got hit with two of them, right? So the scriptures don't lie, man. There's going to be earthquakes in diverse places.
I need you all to look at this and look at it closely because I'm going to tell you why this completely aligns with the return of Jesus. I'll make it quick. Don't worry. So these are all the major earthquakes that have happened in 2026 so far. But there's something you need to see here that is very evident. You see? You notice something? They're all everywhere. No, they're not.
And really, when you notice it, they're in a circle. They're like in a circle. They're going around. You see? They're all spread out, but they're all coming from the middle, all right, of that Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, is that, wait, hold on. No, yeah, no, that's the Salaki. That's the Pacific Ocean right there, right? But they're all coming from the middle of the waters. Same thing that happens when you look at it from this angle and we get them from this side, which is the Atlantic Ocean on this side, right? A lot of these devils, man, they be dropping nukes in the water to explode shit underwater. Why you think a lot of these whales and these fishes are beaching themselves? Or you see that fishes are washing up upon the shore, okay? Because of stupidity like that, man. Okay? As a matter of fact, the scriptures talk about that. This is Isaiah, the 24th chapter. Let's take it from, for the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away, the haughty people of the earth do languish. Right? It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws. Yeah, you see, the earth suffers for the sins of its people, for they have twisted Yahweh's instructions, violated his laws, and broken his everlasting covenants. So the earth is suffering. That's why the earth is constantly trembling, man. That's why earthquakes are happening. Right? It says, that's not the one I wanted, Salaki. I'm thinking about a different one, but that went with it through the spirit. The one I really want is Hosea, I believe. It's the 4th chapter. Yeah. Hosea 4:3. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beast of the field and with the fowls of the heaven. Yeah, the fishes of the sea shall also be taken away. Yeah, and that's what you see, them beaching themselves. You see thousands and thousands of fish coming up on the shores, laying out on the dry land, dead, because they're being taken away, man. And guarantee you that Esau is destroying the waters on a whole nother level, dumping oil into the waters, polluting the waters. Like I said, doing nuclear testing inside the waters. Don't think they don't be doing that shit in the midst of water. That's how they're able to create tsunamis. I mean, those things happen naturally too. Okay. But a lot of these things are just Esau playing around with the earth, man, playing around with his world. Okay. So again, it says the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Yeah, they're disappearing. Okay, going back to that video.
I need you all to look at this and look at it closely, because I'm going to tell you why this completely aligns with the return of Jesus. I'll make it quick, don't worry. So these are all the major earthquakes that have happened in 2026 so far, but there's something you need to see here that is very evident. You see, you notice something? They're all everywhere. No, they're not just confined in one area, literally all around the globe. You see this verse? Look at the word there, various. And when you look at this, you see a whole lot of various. And when you look at the sentence above that verse, you see that that's happening too. Listen, we can take these signs lightly. We can laugh at this. We can call Christians crazy for believing in this. But one thing remains, Jesus Christ will return and every knee will bow. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm not trying to be in the presence of God and to experience that just to be ripped away from it eternally. So let's start taking this serious and locking in, because time is ticking away. I need
These niggas and they Jeebus. All right. So let's grab 2nd Ezra 16, and I'll start closing out. 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me? All right. From those days. Again, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? You see, these are evils that are coming that we constantly that we constantly speak on. Earthquakes are always being spoken of. All right, according to the Bible prophecy. All right, let's grab this. This is This is Salakia. This is Second Ezra 9:3. 1, and it reads, "Measure thou the time diligently within itself, and when thou seest part of the signs which I have told thee before, then shalt thou well understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest Yahweh will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of these things before the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." You see, for like as all that is made in the world has a beginning and the end is manifest. Yeah, it is clear, because it's always ending in effects and signs. As you read down, it says, "Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs." You see, these are the effects. All right, you have cause and effect, right? So because the cause of wickedness and this devil destroying the world and all that, this is the effect to it. Okay, and it's effect and signs. So they're warnings onto you to tell you to get right. Okay, 5 earthquakes in 1 month. That's heavy right there, man. All right, going back to those birth pangs, right? Second Ezra 16:37, and it reads, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side." You see, so the slacks of the Heavenly Father, all right, are never late. They always on time. Okay, when the Lord says these things will happen, all right, they are going to happen at one point. You see, and depending how they come and how they happen shows how much anger the Lord is putting into that scenario at that moment. Okay, when you start to see 7.4 magnitude earthquakes, 8.3, 9.3, man, that just already explains how pissed off the Lord is. You see, because many people die in these earthquakes. They just don't report that shit. They don't even know where half of these people go. Remember when we just read in Numbers, the 16th chapter, people were being swallowed up by the ground, and the ground will close back up, and then you ain't hear about these people again. How much more in these last days that our people are wicked as hell, man? So many people die in the midst of earthquakes, you know, trapped on the rocks, trapped on the houses, you know. Nigga gotta die because he's stuck under a damn tree, under a car, or whatever the hell he's stuck under for days, and you gotta die in the position that you in. Can't cry to nobody, can't get help. You see? That's why you have to fear Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. All right? So again, judgment coming upon our tribes, very heavy. All right, now it's Peru. Let's see what the next, matter of fact, let me see something. Is there another earthquake coming? Right? And see, this happened, right, in Peru because I did a video on it the other day. You had the Pacific Ring of Fire that was getting smacked with earthquakes. Pacific Ring of Fire. Right? This is the Pacific Ring of Fire.
Is a horseshoe-shaped area around the Pacific Ocean, spanning about 40,000 kilometers. It's home to 75% of the world's volcanoes and generates 90% of all earthquakes caused by moving tectonic plates. These plates include the Pacific, Nazca, Cocos, and Juan de Fuca plates.
See? So all these earthquakes that are happening, man, all right, is because of this Pacific, Ring of Fire. All right. Again, it said that this is where all 75% of the world's volcanoes generate from, and 90% of all earthquakes due to the movement and collision of massive tectonic plates. And who you think is the one that's moving those tectonic plates, man? Esau. playing around and building all these underground cities, right? These bunkers, trying to dig deep into the ground so they can hide from the Lord. But the one thing you're not going to be able to do is hide from the Lord. You're not going to be able to run from your judgment, man. All right. The Lord will open up the ground and grab your ass from there. You could be imagine that shit. You in a whole bunker and an earthquake opens up half of your bumper and you can see on one half the bunker and the other half another, but the Lord just come in there and grab your ass, pull your ass out of there. Okay. Or a brother having spiritual power being able to do that. You see? So, hey, man, we are in those times for sure. The time of birth pangs, the times of destruction. All right. According to biblical prophecy. So that's pretty much the point. Just wanted to touch up on that real quick. You know, give another update according to these tribes that are catching hell, our tribes. All right. And, you know, always just reporting to you live with the next thing that's, you know, pretty much happening across the globe, man. All right. Being watchmen like we're supposed to do every hour, you know, any hour, day, nighttime, it don't matter. All right. If I don't bring out the word, another brother's bringing it out through the spirit. You see? So again, you know, these are all beginning of sorrows. Okay, there's gonna be those things are gonna get even worse, man. Your son I was thinking about before, meditating on before, was just in the midst of Jacob's trouble and all hell breaking loose. Imagine mad earthquakes happening at the same time of people getting yanked out of their houses and getting sent to FEMA camps and shit like that. Man, that's a lot to just deal with all at once. That's why the scriptures say that men's hearts gonna fail them from the fear of the things that are happening upon the earth. You know, it's just gonna be too much things to overwhelm you with. You see? But hey, that's the judgment that's coming upon these people, man, for not hearkening on to the word of the Lord. All right. So I'm gonna leave it there through the spirit, Lord willing, you will edify. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Haloim La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, the scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwath that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith, the water brother for the scriptures, as always. All right, those are always lessons within lessons. All right, for those that are watching on the comment board, even if we don't read them, you know, so keep fighting the good fight of faith. You know, may Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah continue to rest upon you and your households. All right, constantly watching, all right, and protecting us in these last days as always. Shalom, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah Barakatah.